Since discovering Clover, it has quickly become my most played Magic format. Recently, Clover has started having official deck building challenges for each new set, each with its own twist. For Marvel Superheroes, the deck building challenge took place during Pride, so the challenge this time was to use 2 commanders as if they had partner. Now, partner is usually a banned mechanic in Clover. All cards with the partner mechanic who could be a commander are banned, or just not legal, whatever you want to think of it as. As a fan of these deck building challenges, I wanted to participate, and I really wanted to make sure I was providing a deck that really felt like a challenge deck. As an overview of what you can do in Clover, Clover is an uncommons only format. It has a commander in the command zone and 59 cards in the library. Additionally, what makes Clover especially unique is that you get to choose 1 card in your 59 that is your lucky Clover, and you run 4 copies of it. In this way, I will often refer to the 59 as all of the cards including the Clover, or I'll refer to the 55 if I'm referring to the space in your library that's omitting the Clover. Even though the challenge doesn't require you to use Marvel Superheroes cards, the release of the set is the event that the challenge is centered around, so it just makes sense to give them at least some representation. So I looked through the entire set for Uncommon Legends and found a couple of weird ones. In addition to the main Marvel Superheroes set, there is a Marvel Superheroes Jumpstart product. That includes some of the most interesting designs in the set, in my opinion. And the ones I gravitated towards are Impossible Man and Goliath, Mass Manipulator. Impossible Man is this very weird blue flyer. There are 1/4, and they have the ability of 3 mana, become a copy of any permanent on the battlefield until end of turn. That's any permanent on the battlefield. Yours, your opponent's, creatures, non-creatures, whatever. Goliath, on the other hand, represents one of the new set mechanics, Power Up. Power Up is a new form of Exhaust, or Monstrous, or whatever. It's an ability you can only activate once, and generally gives you a number of counters plus some additional effect. What makes it unique is that the Power Up cost is reduced by the card's mana cost if that card entered the battlefield this turn. In practice, this makes power-up cards sort of modal. You can either play them early and then power them up in the late game, or you can play them fully powered up all in one go in the mid game. The other interesting thing about power-up is that it is an official keyword action, which means other cards can refer to it. This is where our Clover comes in. Our Clover is Advancing the Spirit, which is an enchantment that says, when it enters, draw a card, and you may pay 0 rather than the power-up cost of the first power-up ability you activate on each of your turns. So what's the actual plan here? Well, Goliath's power-up ability normally costs 5, but you could reduce that to 0 with Advancing the Spirit. Their power-up ability reads, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature, then draw a card for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. So the deck is full of 4-power creatures, usually undercosted with some drawback, but we really just want them sitting around being menacing, not actually doing much. But we can still only activate our power-up ability once, so what's the plan? We get a huge board and refill our hand? While I do think that's actually a pretty reasonable game plan for some deck, that's not the plan here. The plan here is to use Impossible Man to become a copy of Goliath. When they do, they'll get a new instance of the power-up ability, so then they can activate their version of it for 0. This means once on each of our turns, we can spend 3 mana to have Impossible Man become a copy of Goliath, and then for 0 mana, use the power-up ability and draw us 3, 4, 5 cards every single turn. In actual games I've tested with this deck, it's felt really good. Just being able to consistently refill your hand every turn gives you so many resources to actually win a game. So what is the actual win con here? Well, there's a couple. First of all, Impossible Man has flying built in. Now, if they become a copy of something, they're going to lose that flying. But unlike Goliath, who can activate the power ability only once and get 2 +1/+1 counters, every time Impossible Man activates Goliath's power ability, Impossible Man is going to continue to stack those +1/+1 counters. Eventually, they are a lethal threat in the air. Additionally, the power ability relies on having these 4 power or greater creatures, so yeah, most of them can attack and will eventually be able to just swing out on a board once you have enough of them. But I certainly can't resist putting in some stupid combo. It's a mass card draw deck, which I think is maybe one of the best homes for an infinite combo. Oftentimes, I think playing an infinite combo and winning kind of out of nowhere feels cheap and boring. It invalidates the rest of the game. But when your game plan is drawing as many cards as possible, it really increases the odds of finding your 2-card combo. So it doesn't feel as random or like you lucked into a win. It's something that your deck is actively trying to find and actively trying to assemble. So what's the infinite combo this time? Well, Lily Splash Mentor is an excellent combo piece, and they have 4 power, so they actually fit the deck really well. Even if we're not comboing, we can blink Goliath to reset them if we don't have Impossible Man around. They actually kind of work as a secondary Impossible Man in a weird way. They're notoriously a combo piece because you can just spend 3 mana to blink something, and if that something has generated more mana than it costs to activate them, you've made infinite mana no matter what. Usually I combine them with Peregrine Drake, or at least I used to. I keep feeling like Peregrine Drake feels too easy in a weird way. Like, I have done this on an empty board before, and it felt awful, and I don't want to ever do it again. So, are we not using them here? No, I'm not using Peregrine Drake. They don't really fit the rest of the theme of the deck anyway. They're a 2/2 flyer. It just isn't really appropriate. So what can we do instead? Well, there's lots of other loops you can do. The one I've decided on is Selesnya Archivist or Damage Control Crew. This is one of those Omen Path cards, so it got 2 names. They're only a 3 power creature, but there's a number of +1/+1 counters in the deck, so there's a decent chance they'll actually get to 4 power at some point in the game, making them a lot more appropriate than Peregrine Drake. They also double as one of our removal pieces. Their entered ability is choose one, either exile an artifact or enchantment, or return a card of mana value 4 or greater from your graveyard to your hand. The plan here is to use Turnabout, a 4 mana spell that can untap all of our lands, where if we have at least 8 lands, which I know is a lot, but we're in green, we have ramp, we can spend 3 mana to blink the Archivist to return Turnabout to our hand, and the other 4 mana to untap all our lands. That's only 7 mana to produce 8. So just keep doing this until we have infinite mana. Now, what do we do with it? In my mind, the most interesting thing to do with it is start blinking Goliath. See, even though Advancing the Spirit only discounts the first power-up ability we activate each turn, we have infinite mana. So we can still just blink Goliath, activate their ability, draw a bunch of cards, blink Goliath again, activate their ability, draw a bunch of cards. In some roundabout way, we actually ended up putting a mana sink in the command zone. We just need to have a source of infinite blink to make it work. Either way, we can draw through our deck, play a lab man, finish drawing the deck, win that way. And after all, Goliath is a scientist, apparently. I don't know who this guy is. Or Impossible Man, for that matter. That's not the point of the deck. Either way, I threw the submission in, thought it was a really fun deck, but I started really liking this deck. And as I mentioned before, partners aren't a normal legal aspect of Clover, so where does that leave me? I want to play this cool deck. And while I could, lots of people in the community would happily play against one of my challenge decks, I want to have an actual official legal Clover deck that feels the same as this. So I started looking. Is there anything else that's worth copying with Impossible Man over and over again? And I couldn't really find anything I liked. On the other hand, is there any way of resetting Goliath repeatedly in mono green? Even if we don't use Impossible Man, if we had white or blue, we could blink Goliath to reset them to continuously draw cards. But in green? I didn't think I'd find anything, but I thought I might as well do my due diligence and look for any way to do that. And what I found was that green actually has a surprising a lot of self-bounds. I didn't realize this at first, but it makes sense. A lot of old cards use self-bounds as a mandatory thing as a downside. And green loves putting big creatures into play, so here's a big creature, with the downside is you have to return a creature to your hand on your upkeep. That's perfect for us. So we play some big creature, which is great, Goliath likes that. On our upkeep, we bounce Goliath to our hand. Goliath only costs 2 mana normally, and then their ability is discount to 0, so 2 mana, draw another 5 cards? Yes, please. So I did that. I built the mono green version, and it feels so good. I really like these stupid, janky old cards that bounce something to your hand every turn. Now, you can totally get blown out. If someone kills that creature, or they kill Goliath, and you're forced to bounce something you didn't want to, it's really cool, actually. It's very fun. But, of course, our win con has shifted a little bit. Now, we still have the win con of just kill people with all of your 4-power creatures. That works still. But we don't have the ability to continuously stack +1/+1 counters. Unlike Impossible Man, who's resetting the ability by gaining a new instance of it, Goliath has to leave the battlefield and return, so we're losing those +1/+1 counters every time we do it. We also don't have Lily Splash Mentor to go infinite with, so is that dream dead? Well, I've actually been working on some mono-green combo decks anyway, which never really felt like they came together, but both of those combos fit in this deck really well. Lurking Roper was already a card I was running in this deck. As a 4/2 with the downside, it fits the game plan really, really well. It has the ability of whenever you gain life, untap Lurking Roper. This means if we can give them the ability to tap to ping our opponents, and we give them lifelink, all we need to do is tap them, ping someone, gain life, untap them, rinse and repeat. My final version of the list only has one equipment that can grant this ability, which I think is fine. Again, the goal of this deck is we're mass drawing, so we will find our combo. And hopefully that will make assembling the combo satisfying. Does that mean the combo could be completely disrupted and we can't recover? Sure, but we have other lines, like just attacking, or a second combo. The second combo also relies on lifelink, which is nice. It means some of our combo pieces have overlap, so we don't need to dedicate too many slots to combo. We really don't want that cluttering up the deck. We want to make sure the deck's main engine works first and foremost. This combo relies on Squallmonger, which has the ability of 2 mana, ping every flyer and every face. Any player may activate this ability. It doesn't tap or anything, it just costs 2 mana. So if you have infinite mana, you can activate this ability infinite number of times. But we don't have infinite mana in this deck. Instead, we're using one of the silliest cards that is legal in Clover, Channel. Now you've probably heard of Channel, but you've probably heard of it as a card that is banned almost everywhere. But it's not banned in Clover, at least not yet. It certainly hasn't been a problem. This combo certainly isn't a problem. It's way too janky for that. But here's how it works. If you've never actually played Channel before, it is a green-green sorcery that says whenever you have priority, you may spend 1 life to add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. You can do this any number of times, just completely draining your life. Now, if we have a Squallmonger, and that Squallmonger has a lifelink, we can spend 2 life to activate Squallmonger. If we ping ourselves, and we ping each of our opponents, we're going to then gain that life back. Now, if you're in a 1v1, this won't work. You'll be pinging yourself for 3 and gaining 2. But if you have 2 or more opponents, you'll be breaking even or actually going up life. It's a really fun combo too because both of our lifelink givers are pure colorless cards, so we can use channel mana to cast them too. Those would be Loxodon Warhammer or Atraxis Skitterfang, which is this weird creature that enters with oil counters on them, and in the beginning of combat you can remove a counter to give a keyword to another creature until end of turn. One of those keywords is lifelink, so that's our second source in the game. All that combined, we can just go infinite that way. Now, like I said before, you have to be careful with infinites. I think they can really ruin an otherwise really fun game by making it feel like the ending is anticlimactic. But I really do feel like this specific build of Goliath, where the whole game is just an engine for mass card draw, they feel satisfying. It actually uses the game plan of turning our commander into a card draw engine in an active way. It's not incidentally winning the game, although you can just have all the cards that you need in an opening hand. It's possible, but I don't know. Every time I've played it, it's felt really good. When I win with the combo, when I lose during the combo, it's really satisfying. So that was the rework of my challenge deck. But what about the actual challenge itself? The challenge has ended now. Sorry if you want to join in, but there will be another one with the next set, almost assuredly. And the results are in, and I kind of won, sort of. I got second, which really surprised me. If you go on the Clover Discord right now and you check out a place of honor, you'll see the challenge results, and they highlight the first, second, and third place standings. So, yeah, I guess other people liked it too. Have a good night, everyone. I've been Darcy Bits. This has been my Clover challenge overview and then rework. I really want to do more Clover videos, so if you like this, please let me know, and I will see you in the next one.